Hey everyone! So a few weeks back, I got to meet Joey Sturgis and the whole Drumforge crew at NAMM. Great bunch of dudes. And we wound up talking a lot about modern record production, like drum samples versus real drums, amp sims, all kinds of stuff. And then the subject came up of some of the software that they're developing, and they sent me an early copy of this little program called DFClip. What's it do? Let's check it out. So DFClip is basically a plugin with the standard make it louder but not distort function. Now, there's lots of those around, so why bother with this one? Well, it has two very unique features. First off is the tilt control, which is essentially a wideband dual shelf EQ that's great for adding a few dBs of bass or treble and subtracting the opposite. Dead simple, very musical, and it sounds great. And the other thing is the clipper itself. Not only will it make your tracks louder, but it's got a very cool multiband feature which allows you to boost or cut different parts of the spectrum depending on the instrument. Where would you use something like this? Well, let's say you've got a long double bass run on your kicks. You can bring the bottom down a bit to keep things from getting farty, or boost up the highs a little bit on your toms. So to make this interesting, I'm going to show you guys something I've never shown before in any of my videos. What plugins I'm using on a typical mix. Now, bear in mind, these are live drums, and this is definitely an old school metal riff. I just want to show you guys that this plugin isn't just for the modern stuff. Here we go. Okay, so that's my mix. First off, I'll show you what the DFClip can do on a drum bus. I'll typically throw the kick, snare, and tom mics onto a bus, so I've got a nice, easy general control. On the bus, I'm just using a wideband boost, not trying to mess with the bass or the treble. But as you can see, the results are massive. It just adds such an impact to the drums. On the kick, again, just another wideband to keep the peaks under control. I'm not even using it to boost any volume. I just want to keep the levels out of the red because live drummers can be a little bit all over the place with hit strength. But when it comes to snares, I like to use two mics, the standard 57 and a small diaphragm condenser. I'll process the 57 in a fairly normal way, but the condenser was just made to be abused. Check out what DFClip can do to a snare mic. Very cool indeed. It adds a really great biting top end that helps the snare jump out of a mix. And recently I've noticed my toms are sounding a little dull in the mix, so I've tried the usual EQ and compression, and they still don't seem to have the cut that I'm looking for. And this is where DFClip really shines. The multiband clipper is especially effective here in keeping the bottom end of the floor tom under control and allowing me to boost up just the top end frequencies. If you boost the whole thing, the bottom on the floor tom gets pretty ugly very quickly. Now, I'm sure you can use the DF Clipper on all kinds of sources, but for me anyway, this thing is a total winner on drums, especially live drums. Because let's face it, a lot of the drummers you're going to wind up recording might not have the best control over their dynamics. It's on sale right now for $49, and for what it does, it's totally worth it. You can check it out over at drumforge.com.